assignment, Group C assignment 1, which is selected is represent a graph using adjacency matrix to perform DFS and adjacency list to perform BFS. So now I hope you all remember the graph concepts, that is unit 3. So based on that, we can just see, we'll just go through the PPT which we had studied during the uh, lecture session. So yes, so I've not opened adjacency list and adjacency list and adjacency matrix here. So can somebody tell me what is adjacency matrix and adjacency list? You all remember? Any idea? अब बताओ मुझे कि ग्राफ और ट्री में क्या डिफरेंस है? You all can hear me? Students, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो ग्राफ एंड ट्री का डिफरेंस क्या है?
Ma'am, a graph consists of vertices and edges, whereas a tree consists of nodes.
Yeah, see, graph, vertices and edges, that is correct. The tree's node is also, you can just say here a graph also contains nodes. Instead of vertices, you can say it as nodes also. But only difference is, you can say that in a tree, you have a root node, right? A specific or a dedicated node called the root node. Whereas in a graph, you don't have such a type of node which is dedicatedly called the root node. You can select any node which is going to be the starting node, right? So that is the difference. And yes, in graph you have directed graph as well as undirected graph, whereas you don't have that kind in a tree, because tree is you start from a root node, you go to different levels which is getting branched into child nodes, and finally you have a you have a set of leaf nodes, right? Here we have vertices and edges, or you can say it as nodes and edges connected to each other. It can be a directed graph or a non-directed graph. So can you tell me what is a directed graph and a non-directed graph? Any idea directed graph or non-directed graph के meaning बता सकते हैं और what it is?
Directed graph has a particular direction. The edge
Yeah,
has a particular direction.
good. See, the edges will specify a particular direction, that is from which node, whether you are going to traverse, the traversing direction or the communication direction is going to be specified explicitly in the figure itself. That is from, if suppose there is going to be communication only from 0 to 1, there will be an arrow pointing from 0 to 1, and you will have otherwise you will have, if you say it is non-directed or there is no direction specified, then there'll be just links connected to each node. Yes, now tell me what is the meaning of weighted and unweighted graph? Any idea? Unweighted and weighted graphs.
Weighted means edges will have some values.
Yeah, it will have some cost, right? And unweighted means it will not have a cost, or the values can be a cost, or it can be the delay or anything that is going to be specified uh, between the communication, two communication nodes. Okay, so that is weighted, and if you don't have such cost or any value written specified, that means it's an unweighted graph. So yes, you can, if you can see the screen, a graph is a data structure that consists of following two components: finite set of vertices called nodes and a finite set of ordered pair of the form u comma v, which is known as the edge. Okay, and if it is, sometimes u comma v is not same as v comma u in a directed graph, because there will be direction specified. But if it is a non-directed graph, it will be similar. U comma B and B comma U will be similar. And the edges may contain weight, value, or cost. So if contains weight, it's called a weighted graph. If not, it is not a weighted graph. Okay. And how to represent graphs? You can represent graphs in two ways: the adjacency matrix and the adjacency list. So these are the two ways, mainly two ways in which you can represent the graph. So what is an adjacency matrix? Can somebody tell me? An example is shown here. Adjacency matrix क्या है? यहाँ पे figure है. You can see the figure here. This is the figure. You have. Yeah, it's a two-dimensional array. Yes. What does it speak? See, it's specifying 0 and 1. So what is that 0 and what is that 1?
For 1, there will be a edge. For 0, edge will not be present.
Yeah, correct. So if there is a connection between two nodes, that is, if there is a connection between node 0 and node 1 as specified here, then it will be marked as 1. Else it will be marked as 0. So for a non-directed graph, 0 and 1 and 0 will also have the same value. If it is a directed graph, it will not. Okay, so that is, so here we are not bothered about the direction in the example which I am going to show you. It's a non-directed graph. So if 1 0 has value 1 or 0 to 1 is connected, that means 1 to 0 is also connected. So it will be bidirectional. Okay, is it clear to everybody? Have you all understood adjacency matrix?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, everybody. Okay, so that's what we were saying, that the graph can be represented in two ways. It can be represented in the form of an adjacency matrix, or it can be represented in the form of an adjacency list. तो अभी adjacency list कैसे represent करते हैं? You can see an example here. So can somebody tell me what it is? How is it shown?
Use an array of list like to represent the adjacency list.
Yeah, it's an array of list. Like how many, what is the size of the array? It's going to be the size, number of vertices that is present. So the size of the array will depend on this number of vertices. And now, how is the connectivity shown here? Like if there is a connection from the node 0 to node 1, then it will be shown in the form of a list, like node 0 from vertex 0 to vertex 1. If there is a connection, that it's going to, each location of the array is going to be represented in the form of a list which is connected to each other depending on its connectivity. Like 0 to 1 there is a connection, and 0 to 4 also there is a connection. Okay, so based on that, they are going to be like the array of the list, the size of the array is equal to the number of vertices. Now let array be the array representation, and array I represents a list of vertices adjacent to the ith vertex. So it is a list of vertices which is adjacent to the ith vertex. Matlab 1 and 4 is going to be connected to 0. So that is how it is being represented. And the last node will be pointing to null. Okay, so that is what it shows. So this is how they represent and a graph using a list. So just go through it, see if you have understood. So here what we are doing in our problem statement is you're converting, or you're going to represent an graph in the form of a adjacency list or in the form of adjacency matrix. And using that, if it is adjacency matrix, they want you to do DFS, and if it is adjacency list, they want you to do BFS. So using that, we are going to perform two traversals, that is BFS and DFS. So have you all made it clear what is adjacency matrix and what is adjacency list? Any doubts so far? समझ में आया क्या? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we'll see an example how BFS and DFS is done. So going through the PPTs, like, yes, so DFS uses stack data structure and BFS uses a queue data structure, like you can see. And the size of the stack and the size of the queue will be according to the number of vertices present in the graph. So that is the main points you have to keep in mind. The data structure which is used for DFS and the type of data structure which is used for BFS. Okay. Then how to perform DFS? There's an algorithm here. We'll see an example and we'll understand it to make everything clear. So you can see that you have a graph of here. What type of graph is it? Is it a directed graph or an undirected graph?
Undirected.
Yeah,
Undirected.
it's not. It's an
Directed.
undirected graph. Okay. Now you here, as I told you, in the case of a tree, we know we start traversal from the root node. But since it's a graph, we have to specify the first node which we are going to start. So since here in the example, they are starting from the node A. Okay. So once you start with from a node A or a vertex A, you are going to push it into the stack. So you can see it here. A is getting pushed into the stack. And once you select a node and you push it into the stack, you have to mark it as visited so that you don't revisit that node again. इतना समझ में आया क्या? Have you all understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then going to the next part, then you go for, so A is already pushed into the stack. You find the adjacent node. Any adjacent node is selected, which is to adjacent to the node A, because now A is the current node we have visited. So you'll select any adjacent node, but the node selected should not be visited. That means the next node which I'm selecting here, or in the example which has been selected, is B, and B is not previously visited, so B can be selected and it is adjacent to node A. Now B will be pushed into the stack and B will be marked visited. So as you push it into the stack, you're going to print the output also. Okay. So that's the second step. Then you go to the next. Now, since B is the current node, the next node will be randomly selected, which is adjacent to node B, and it should not be visited previously. So C is selected. It's not previously visited, so it will be marked visited, and it is being pushed into the stack and it's getting printed out. Okay. Then you go to step 4. Now you select any node which is adjacent to C. So here E is selected. E is not previously visited. So E is marked as visited. It is pushed into the stack. So this process goes on. Okay. And now you get another adjacent node which is adjacent to E. That is D. And D is not previously visited, so D is marked as visited now, pushed into the stack and printed. अभी next D का जो adjacent node है is A. A is already visited. So in that context, like you can see now, when you select an adjacent node of D, D's adjacent node is A. Next node that is A, which is already visited. So what you do is you pop D out from the stack. But what you do is you pop D from the stack and you use it to backtrack. तो मतलब D को pop किया तो वापस कहाँ पे आ गए? E पे आ गए. Because why didn't we go forward from D? Because there was no nodes adjacent to D which was non-visited. ठीक है, वो समझ में आया क्या? Have you understood why we popped D out of the stack?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. So we have popped it out. So in order to backtrack to the previous node, because D didn't have any adjacent nodes that were not visited. So since when we do that, we come to node E again and we see if there is any adjacent nodes that is adjacent to E and that is not visited. So you can see it here in step 7. You select F, which is adjacent to E, and that is not visited. So F is pushed into the stack, printed. And next, you find another node which is adjacent to F. So you can see in step 8, G is selected, which is non-visited. G is marked as visited, now pushed into the stack. Next is we have to find an adjacent node to G. And as you can see in this picture, no nodes are remaining which is adjacent to G, and that is which is non-visited. So क्या करेंगे? We'll pop G out and we'll backtrack. And when we backtrack, we come back to F, and you see if there is any nodes which is adjacent to F which is non-visited. So you can see there is no nodes remaining, so you pop F out. You can see that. So when you pop F out, you come back to E again. So now there is no adjacent nodes to E which is non-visited. So you'll have to pop E also out. You can see here in step 11. And yes, the next node is C. Is there any nodes which is non-visited that you can select? Any nodes adjacent to C which is non-visited? In step 11? Yes, students, do you find any nodes non-visited?
No.
No. So what will you do? What will
Pop
you
out
do if you, yeah, you will pop C out of the stack, and then you come to node B again. Is there any nodes which is non-visited to, which is adjacent to node B?
No.
No, ma'am.
No. So what will you do?
Pop out B
Pop
from
B.
the stack.
You will pop out B from the stack. Then you come back to A, and there is no nodes remaining which is adjacent to A, and that is not non-visited. That is not non-visited. So you have to pop A also out from the stack, and yes, stack becomes empty. So in this way, we have traversed all the nodes of the graph, and we have done the DFS procedure. So the output is going to be A, B, C, E, D, F, G. So that's how a DFS works. So when do you stop DFS? When the stack becomes empty. So any doubts? DFS traversal में कुछ doubts है? समझ में आया क्या सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear to everybody? Have you all understood the concept? Is it clear, everybody? Can I go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So using this, we have to implement, yes. So what they said is using, according to the problem statement, they said, like, if you all remember, we'll use an adjacency matrix and we'll perform DFS. Okay. So if you can see the example here. So I'm using an online editor today. Okay. So can you see a class graph is being created? Screen visible hai kya sabko? Is it clear to is it visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are creating a class graph. And what are the data members? Here is the number of vertices the graph is going to have, the number of edges the graph is going to have, and a matrix. We are going to create a matrix which is an adjacency matrix, and for here we are using pointers because see, we are not sure about the number of edges and number of vertices. So since it's not sure, it's not statically given, we are using pointers. Okay, and since it's a two-dimensional matrix we are going to use pointer to pointer. So that is why int star star adjacent. So that is that is for what? For creating an adjacency matrix. So these three are the data members of the graph class. Okay, now what are the functions we have here? We have and how to create an initial adjacency matrix. We have a graph int v comma int e is a constructor because graph is the name of the class. So it's going to be a constructor which is going to create the initial adjacency matrix. Then you have a function called add edge. So as you add the edges, it will get added to your graph, and accordingly the adjacency matrix will be set. Okay, then you have a print function. Sorry, here it's a print function. It's a function print. Okay, you have a print function which is going to print the adjacency matrix. Okay, it's going to print the adjacency matrix. Okay. And then you have a function to display the DFS traversal. So for DFS traversal, as told you, you have to specify the starting node from where you are going to start the traversal, and yes, you have to mark the vertex visited once you select a vertex. So for that, we have two arguments. One is start and the second is a vector boolean, which is going to mark, or that is going to mark the visited. So the visited node is going to return boolean, or you're going to say you're going to mark that particular visited node. Okay, now we are using vector. If you all remember STL, standard template library, which we had studied in semester 1, we are going to use a standard template library called vector. Okay, so it's already created, the library is available, so it will be easy to use it instead of you creating a vector data structure. So we are using the vector template library from STL. Okay, so that is what vector, and it's going to return that particular argument is going to return a boolean. That is what, or its type is going to be boolean type. That is why BOOL is put inside the angular bracket. Okay, and so vector is the class. The type of that object created, the object created is visited, and what is the type of visited object? It is boolean. So that is what it means here. So what are the functions? So this is the class, as you can see. Just repeating again, you can see you have a class called graph, and in that graph you have data members called VE and an adjacency matrix, which is represented as pointers. Then you have three function. You have a constructor called graph. You have a function to add edges. You have a function to print the adjacency matrix, and a function to perform DFS. And DFS has two arguments. One is the starting node, and the second is this node which is going to represent it's going to represent the boolean, that whether it is the status, whether the node is visited or not visited. It's going to be true or false value, and we are using vector here. So vector is the class, visited is the object, and what is the type of that object? It is boolean type. मतलब यहाँ पे जो value second argument जो होने वाले हैं, it can be either true or false. That is going to indicate what is the status of that particular node. Okay, so these are the functions in class graph. Then coming here, you can see down the constructor. What is it doing? Like once an object of the graph is created, you will have the number of vertices and number of edges that is getting assigned to V and E of the class graph. and accordingly you are creating a matrix as per the number of vertices. So you can see adjacent equal to new int star v. Matlab, the number of, as per the number of vertices inserted by the user, you are going to create an adjacency matrix. So as you all know, the adjacency matrix में number of rows कितना होता है? As according to the number of vertices. So int row equal to 0, row less than v, row plus plus. And for each row, how many columns are going to be there, or what is the size of each row? It's going to be the size of, depending on the size of the vertex. That is why adjacency row equal to new int v. मतलब क्या है? Each row का size कितना होने वाले? It depends on the size or the number of vertices. Okay, and int column 0, column less than b, column plus plus, you are traversing. So for row column, you are assigning the value equal to 0. So every row column or you're taking an index ij, row column index, and you're putting it equal to 0. That means now you're initializing the entire matrix to 0. Okay, so this is the constructor. What it is doing, it is accepting the number of edges and a number of vertices from the user. It is assigning to the vertex and edge data members of the class. Then it is creating an adjacent matrix depending on the number of vertices inserted by the user. Okay, and after doing so, after creating the adjacency matrix according to the size of the vertex, that is the number of rows will be as per the number of vertices, and each row will what is the size of each row? Each row has size of the number of vertices, because rows and columns are equal. Okay, so that is why number of rows is going to be according to the vertex, as well as each row size is also going to be number of vertex, and for each row column index you are assigning the value equal to 0. So that is what this particular constructor does. So have you all understood the constructor? कंस्ट्रक्टर का स्टेटमेंट्स देखो, समझ में आया क्या? ईच लाइन, इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीबॉडी? Yes, students, are you all there? Students, are you, have you all understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please respond, because otherwise I will not know whether the connection has dropped. Next is to add edge. So you know, जब भी हम एक edge add करते हैं, according to that we have to set the index of the adjacency matrix to 1. So when you are adding edge, suppose I'm adding an edge 1 comma 2, or that is I'm going to start from 1 and the edge is 1 to 2. In that state, adjacent matrix 1 2 is going to be set to 1. Similarly 2 1 is also going to be set to 1, because we are not considering a directional graph. Since we are not considering a directional graph, the graph is going to be bidirectional. So 1 to 2 and 2 to 1 both is going to be set to 1. So that is what add edge function does. समझ में आया? Is it clear? Is it clear, students? Students, please respond. Is it understood? Line number 53 to 59 समझ में आया क्या?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
देखो, अगर मुझे suppose I have an edge here, like if I show you the example here. See, I have an edge from 0 to 1. So in the code, I will give start as 0 and E as 1. So what happens if 0 to 1, if there is an edge, in the matrix over there, 0, 1, मतलब 0 row and 1 column में 1 set होगा. Similarly, 1 row and 0 column में भी 1 set होगा. So according to that logic, when we are adding an edge, so this is the starting node and this is the second node. When you are adding the edge, according to that, the adjacency matrix में start to the second edge, you are putting it equal to 1, and from the second to the start also you are putting it equal to 1, because ये bidirectional है, यहाँ पे direction नहीं दिखाया है, तो दोनों जगह पे 1 सेट कर रहे हैं. समझ में आया क्या अभी?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, so once add edge is all done, what you want to do is you want to show the adjacency matrix printed. So you will traverse from I, you're traversing like you're printing a matrix. So if you should know how to print a matrix. So according to that, I and J indexes are used, which is represented as column 2. Column and row and column, and according to that you are printing the adjacency matrix in print function. So ये direct है printing the matrix. Okay, and then in DFS, as I told you, you are going to send the status, the starting node and the status. So you can see here start. You might be, the user might give a starting value, and that start value, so according to an algorithm, that start value is the starting node, and that node is going to be pushed into the stack, and once you push it into the stack, you will set the status as visited. So यहाँ पे visited, if start node is 2, so visited 2 equal to true, मतलब the node 2 has been visited. So that is the concept here. So the user will give you the starting node or the first node, and you will print the first node because that is the node that is going to be inserted. And as I told you previously, once you insert it into the stack, you're printing the value also. So you print that node, and once you print it, you mark it as visited. So visited of that particular node is going to be printed as true, or it's going to be set as true. And then for every node that is adjacent to that particular start node, right, you are going to find every node that is adjacent to the start node. So if any node that is adjacent to the current node, and that is not visited, so that is what it says, if start to the particular another node, so start is your current node, to any other node, that is I, to any other node available, if it is set to 1, and that means set to 1 मतलब there is an edge. अगर वो जो node अभी current node से कोई any other node में connectivity है, वो कैसे check करेंगे? Start I equal to 1. If that particular index is equal to 1 and it is not visited, then you call the DFS in an iterative way. How is it done? Since if there is an edge, सो DFS कैसे वर्क करते हैं? एक नोड सेलेक्ट किया, फिर उसको ट्रू किया, फिर उसको प्रिंट किया, फिर उसके बाद क्या करते हैं? उसके पूरा एडजेसेंट, एक एडजेसेंट नोड फाइंड आउट करते हैं. तो एडजेसेंट नोड कैसे फाइंड आउट करते हैं? फ्रॉम एन एडजेसेंसी मैट्रिक्स, by seeing if it is set to 1. If it is set to 1, the next thing you have to check is whether it is already visited. तो visited कहाँ से आ जाएंगे? As I told you, there is a visited object which is containing a value true or false. So if it is not visited and its value and its connectivity is 1, then you call the DFS again. मतलब what happens? That particular I node will be sent as the next start. That I node will become true, and the process will repeat again and again. So that's how DFS is done. अंडरस्टूड? तो अल्गोरिदम आप लोगों को पता है तो इजीली ट्रैवर्स कर सकते हैं. तो एक नोड मिल गया, उसको प्रिंट किया, उसका स्टेटस ट्रू कर दिया, फिर उसकी एडजेसेंट नोड फाइंड आउट करने के लिए यू विल हैव टू ट्रैवर्स द मैट्रिक्स एंड फाइंड वेदर एनी नोड व्हिच इज कनेक्टेड टू द करंट नोड इज सेट टू 1. इफ इट इज सेट टू 1, यू विल चेक द स्टेटस ऑफ द नोड. अगर स्टेटस ऑफ द नोड फॉल्स है, मतलब वो विजिटेड नहीं है, then you will call the DFS again. Is it clear? you understood the function? Okay. So that's how DFS is done. And then we have, I think we have considered all the functions here. Now you can see the main function. The number of vertices is 5, number of edges is 7. So this you have to give it. Then you create an object G, V comma E. Matlab, it is going to call the constructor. V and E is going to get passed, and accordingly an adjacent matrix of size V is going to be created, and all the index is going to be set to 0. In line 100, all this will happen because it's going to call the constructor graph. Next, in 101 to 107 क्या हो रहे? You are calling the add edge function. So 0,1 मतलब क्या है? 0, 1 index में 1 set होगा and 1, 0 index में भी 1 set होगा. That is what add edge is going to be doing. That is, it's setting 1 to the adjacency matrix wherever there is a add edge called based on the arguments of add edge. And after that is done, you are setting the vertex, all the, see, you can see you are initializing all the vertex vector to false. Why? Because you're setting it false to mark it that all at the beginning all the vertex is not visited. Then you print the adjacency matrix here, and after printing the adjacency matrix, then you call the DFS. So your starting node is 0 here. Matlab starting vertex 0 hai, and you are calling the, or you are passing the visited. Visited contains all the status of each node. That is status क्या है? True or false. तो अभी status of 0 is going to be false and everything is going to start again according to DFS. So DFS में आते ही start value is going to be 0. Start value, or that means 0 node is going to be set to true, and whatever is adjacent to 0 is going to be found out and which is not visited, and the process is going to continue. That's how DFS is going to be called. So you can see that how things are getting worked. So this is how the adjacency matrix is going to be printed here. Okay. Yes. And now when you run the code, it should work. So abhi dekho, see, the adjacency matrix is printed and the DFS is printed according to it. Kaise? There was a link, if you can see in add matrix, there was a link 0, 1, 1, 2. So we can just check 0, 1 is set to 1. So, and 1, 0 is also set to 1, and then 1, 2. So 1, 2 में ये position है, that is also set to 1. 2, 1. So 2 कौन सा है? 2, 1 भी set to 1 है. देखा? Saw it? Saw the adjacency matrix? Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how it has to be done. So I hope you all have understood the first part of the program. Yes, so why it has become easy is because you are using the vertex vector template to put the status, and rest all is going fine. Okay, so I hope you've understood the code. Next according to is that we have to build an adjacency list and we have to perform BFS. So BFS देखते हैं पहले. BFS कैसे करते हैं? Like again, we are going to use a queue, and the size of the queue depends on the number of vertices of the graph, as you can see. And you have to give the starting node, so which is going to be you are going to start the traversal from. So you can see vertex A is the starting node. So you select A and you insert it into the queue. Okay. And now since A is selected, you have to find all the adjacent nodes of A. So you can see, since A is the top फ्रंट ऑफ द स्टैक, अभी देख सकते हैं क्यू का नॉट स्टैक, क्यू का फ्रंट में ए है, तो ए का पूरा एडजेसेंट नोड्स सेलेक्ट करके क्यू में you have to push it inside queue. You can see that. So A adjacent nodes of A is D, E and B. So D, E, B is inserted and A is of course deleted. So when you delete it, you print it. Okay, so D, E, B is visited and A is popped out or it is removed from the queue. So it is printed A. Understood? So this is the difference. In DFS, we were selecting only one node. Here, we have to select all the adjacent nodes, which is related to that particular node under consideration. So A pehle node hai. It is in the front of the queue. So that will be deleted and all the adjacent nodes of A will be inserted into the queue. And once you delete the node from the queue, it has to be printed. Next, which is the front of the queue? यहाँ पे front of the queue कौन सा है? Can you tell me which node is in the front of the queue? D is in the front of the queue. So you have to remove D from the queue. You will print D and you will find all the adjacent nodes that is not visited. So is there any node that is not visited? D ka adjacent nodes, any node which is not visited? There is no node, so it cannot be, nothing is going to be inserted into the queue. Now front of the queue is E. So you will remove E from the queue, you will print it and you will find all the adjacent nodes of E. So adjacent nodes of E kya hai? C and F hai. So you will put it, you will insert it into the queue and that's how the process works. So yes, so the output till now is A, D, E. Next, front of the queue is B. You will find all the adjacent nodes of B. You will remove B from the queue. You will print it and you will find the adjacent nodes of B if it is not visited. So you can see there is no nodes that can be inserted into the queue. Then C is removed from the queue, it is printed and you find the adjacent node of C, G is there which is not visited. So you insert it into the queue. Okay, F and G is inserted. F and G is the adjacent node of C which is not there. Okay, then next, front of the queue was F. There was no nodes which is not visited. So you simply print F and the last is G. So again, G has no nodes which can, adjacent nodes which can be inserted into the queue. So now you see the queue is empty and you stop the BFS process. So that's how you do the BFS traversal in a graph. So have you all understood this concept? Understood BFS? Yes. So according to that, we have to create a code. Now instead of adjacency list, you have to create, sorry, adjacency matrix. You have to create an adjacency list and you have to perform BFS. तो देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे कैसे हो रहा है. You can see a graph class is created and what are the data members? You have number of vertices and for each vertex there is a list. So you're going to create a list. Now here instead of creating a list raw, like you have a list with a node, struct node and a data and a pointer. Instead of doing that, we have used a standard template library list. So that will make things easier. Okay, so you have, what are the data members of the graph? You have the number of vertices and you have created a list which is going to be a pointer to the array containing adjacent list. Okay, so you're going to create, you have created, and what is the data which is going to be contained in the list? They are going to be integers. That is why list stl use की कर रहे हैं. उसका data type क्या है? Integer है, and you have created a object of the list that is adj. Okay, this is how you use a list stl, which will make things easier. Yes. Then you have a constructor graph, which is inserting the vertex as a argument. Then you have add edge, as we have already seen. The edge will contain two parameters, the start node and the end node, that is represented as V and W here. Then you are going to print the adjacency list, so a print function, and then you have a BFS, and you know BFS has to start with the starting node, so one argument is given as S. Now you can see in the constructor what is being done. Line number 35, the vertex is assigned to the data member of the class V, and according to that a new list is created as per the number. So how many lists you have to create? According to the number of vertices. So you can see adjacent equal to new list, which is of size V. That's what that constructor says. An adjacent object of size V is being created. Okay. And yes, next is add edge. So when you're adding an edge, you are inserting the list into the vector position or the matrix position or the array position, not matrix position, array position. मतलब क्या है हमें? As you can see in this example, if you can see in this example, यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं in position 0, list 1 and list 4 is added. So you're adding the list, that is 1 matlab kya hai? If there is a connection from 0 to 1, you add list 1. If there is a connection from 0 to 4, you add list 4. So for adding it to that particular position of the ADJ, what you are using? Pushback. Pushback means you're adding at the end. And why are you adding? Because you know it is going to be a list connected to each other, and the last list will be connected to null. So adjacency, so according to the vertex, suppose vertex 0 is connected to another node 1, so V is going to be 0 and W is going to be 1. So in the array position 0, you are going to push the list 1. So that is what line number 43 means. Is it clear? Push back means add from the back, because you know list is going to be added. Is it clear? Line number 43 समझ में आया क्या? Are you all there with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, you're printing the adjacency list. So you know you will be printing it in this format as I showed you. You will print the vertices in one side and the list in the other side, you using arrows. So according to that, the print function has been done. You can see it. And here, since we are using an STL library list, to iterate the list, you have to use this format, 47 line 47, you can see. You have to use an iterator. So list, you're using iterator I, and how do you start with it? You do adjacent j dot begin and until the end. So that's how you iterate a list. Okay, so it's why are we using this method? Because we are using STL, and to use an iterator in STL, this is how you do it. So from begin function and end function, they will set the pointer to the beginning of the list, and end will set the pointer to end. So this will go until it is the end of the list. Okay, and you are printing the value. That is why star I. If you print only I, you will print the location. Okay, so this is how print function works. And next, BFS, as we know, how are we are setting all the nodes as false, all the visited nodes as false at the beginning. You're creating a queue for BFS. You're creating an object called queue for BFS. And then what you're doing, once you get a node, you're setting it as true. Line number 69 means once a node is selected, it's set as true and it is pushed into the queue. Okay. And then you iterate that particular node so that you get all the adjacent nodes. And once you get all the adjacent nodes, and if it is not visited, you put it into the queue. That's what is being done in line 89 to 93. As you can see, you iterate the node which is being put into the queue, that is in the front of the queue, that is queue dot front. You get the node which is in front of the queue and you pop it out of the queue and you print it. Okay, and once you do that, you are going to find all the adjacent nodes of that particular node which is being popped out. So for that, you iterate the adjacent list to find all the list that is connected to that particular array position. And if the visited status is not true, you mark it true and you push it into the queue. So this is how it works. So we have gone through the traversal procedure, and you see how easy it is to use a STL. You can directly use a queue. You need not create it. You can use the STL queue and it'll work easily. So you just have to get the front of the queue, you just have to write queue dot front, and to remove the content from the queue, you have to do queue dot pop front. So removing the content from the front of the queue, and to traverse all the list elements that is adjacent to the element S, you have to just write adjacent S dot begin to adjacent S dot end and check if the status is visited or not visited. If it is not visited, set it to true and push it to the queue. So this is how it works. So we have already seen the algorithm. Next, in the main function, what you're doing, you're creating an object G and the number of vertices is 4. So the constructor will be called, and according to that, adjacency list will be created, which is of size 4. Then as you add each edge, it's going to be pushed into the position. That means 0 to 1 मतलब 0 position में 1 list push होगा. Again 0 to 2 मतलब 0 position में 2 list push होगा. So like that, an adjacency list is created. It will be printed, and the breadth first traversal is being called with the starting index as 0. That means the starting node is taken as 2. So that is why g.bfs 2 is given. So that's how this particular program works. If you can see the output here, see. So you can see adjacent 0 is connected to 1 and 2. Adjacent 1 is connected to 2. 2 is connected to 0, 3. 3 is connected to 3. How did you get that? See, 0 is connected to 1, 0 is connected to 2, and 1 is connected to 2. So according to that, see, the adjacent list is being created. And since we are starting from vertex 2, this is the BFS. Okay, so have you all understood the code? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how we are satisfying the problem statement. So you can see the problem statement BFS and DFS is done. So you can use it, and we have completed the code. So what was the problem statement here? Represent a graph using adjacency matrix to perform DFS and using adjacency list to perform. Yes. So any doubts so far? Any doubts? Is it clear to all?
Ma'am, can we also perform like in the inverse manner? Like for the adjacency matrix, will perform the BFS, and for the adjacency list, will perform DFS. Can
Yeah.
we do so?
Yeah, you can do so, right? We have just followed the problem statement. See, if you want to do BFS in the other case, what will you do? यहाँ पे matrix है. यहाँ पे if you want to do BFS, what will you do? In the BFS, you will select one node and BF and Q में insert करेंगे. And then to find what all nodes are connected to that particular node, you will find all the ones in the matrix, right? And wherever there is one, those many nodes will be inserted into the queue if its status is false. And similarly, DFS यहाँ पे भी कर सकते हैं. Instead of queue, you will be putting a stack, and you have a stack library in STL, and you can pop it accordingly. So yes, anything else? Any doubts? So I'll share this particular manual to you all. Please execute it if you have any doubt. Now see, everything is being done using STL. That's why things became easy. If you want to create a raw list as per that you have learned, you have to do struct list, then you have to create a queue also you have to use. So there'll be many pointers into play and you might get confused. So you can use the STL here, but BFS and DFS has to be done. Is it clear? Is it clear to everybody? Any doubts? Is it clear to everybody? Nothing else to be discussed? So will you all be able to do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yes, so I'll end the session for today. I'll share the lab manual. Please execute it and upload it in the link. And there are many students who are not doing it. Please do it. I'm marking your assignment according to that. And today at 3 o'clock, we'll have the audit course session. So I'll be sharing the link right now. Okay, clear?
Ma'am, like
Yes.
for this assignment, are we supposed to do any changes? Like we have to accept from user or something? Menu driven.
No. Do it as a separate code because they have specified it separately. Put it to separately and do it. Just execute it, understand the concept and do it. Now, if you want to make the changes, the only changes is